everyone, it's Alyssa with Bay Property Management Group, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a landlord, property investor, or just someone involved in the rental industry, today's topic is one you'll want to pay attention to: tariffs. Now, when you hear the word tariff, you probably think of international trade and politics. But what does that have to do with managing a rental property? Well, more than you may think. Tariffs can have a ripple effect that touches nearly every part of the real estate industry, including how much it costs to maintain or improve your rental property. So today we're breaking down how they work and 3 major ways they could impact the rental industry. So to start off, a tariff is essentially a tax on imported goods. Governments impose tariffs to protect domestic industries or as part of a broader trade negotiation. For example, if the U.S. places a tariff on steel or lumber from overseas, it increases the cost of those materials for U.S. companies that rely on them. Those extra costs usually trickle down the supply chain. That's where landlords and property managers start to feel the pinch. So for the 3 major ways they could impact the rental industry, first up is higher costs for property repairs and renovations. Tariffs on imported materials like lumber, steel, copper, aluminum, appliances, or even fixtures like sinks and lighting can significantly increase renovation costs. If you're doing a unit turnover or tackling deferred maintenance, your budget might suddenly not go as far. Let's say you're replacing kitchen cabinets or flooring between tenants. If those materials are subject to new or increased tariffs, you may pay 10 to 25% more than you did just a few years ago. Multiply that across multiple units, and you've got a serious dent in your profit margins. Even more basic items like HVAC systems, water heaters, or vinyl windows can become pricier, which affects not just capital improvement projects, but also emergency repairs. And unfortunately, it's not always easy or practical to pass these costs on to the tenant. Number 2, supply chain delays and longer vacancies. Another issue tariffs can cause is supply chain disruption. If materials become more expensive or harder to source, vendors may delay project timelines. That means if you're renovating a unit between leases, you might face longer turnover times. For a property management firm, that means longer vacancy periods and more lost rent. It also creates challenges in scheduling maintenance crews and budgeting timelines for owners. This domino effect can lead to slower leasing, more frustrated tenants, and a tighter squeeze in ROI. In competitive markets where time is money, those extra weeks waiting on parts and materials can make a noticeable difference in your annual returns. And number 3, impact on rent prices and affordability. Finally, let's talk about the broader rental market. As operating costs rise for landlords due to both inflation and tariffs, some of those costs will naturally get passed down to renters in the form of higher rent prices. But there's a limit. In many cities, rent control ordinances, price sensitivity, or local market conditions may prevent landlords from increasing rents enough to offset these rising costs. That creates a dilemma. Either take a hit on profits or invest less in the property. This can ultimately affect the quality of housing stock in certain markets and make it even harder to keep units updated, energy efficient, and competitive. So what can property managers and landlords do? As a property management firm, we're always keeping an eye on these kinds of economic changes because they affect not just our operations, but also the long-term value of your rental investment. Here are a few things we recommend. Stay proactive with preventative maintenance. Don't wait for things to break. Fix them before material prices spike even more. Diversify your vendors and suppliers. Find local or domestic sources when possible to avoid international tariff exposure. Communicate with tenants. If rising costs do require rent adjustments, transparency goes a long way. And work with experienced property managers who can help you budget accurately, source competitively priced materials, and navigate supply chain challenges effectively. Tariffs may seem like a global issue, but their impact can be very, very local. Whether you're renovating a single-family home or managing a portfolio of multifamily properties, these policies can affect your bottom line in subtle but significant ways. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights on property management, investing, and everything rental related. And if you've seen the effects of tariffs in your own rental business, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.